What's going on, guys? It's your boy Money Mike. Today is another day, another deal. So today I'm not out in the field, but I did come across this news story that I thought would make for a great conversation piece. So let's watch this video and let's get into it.
Atlanta woman wants to warn homeowners tonight after she says someone stole her deed. She said she had no idea until someone told her that her home had been torn down. Channel 2 investigative reporter Ashley Lincoln has been working on this story for weeks. Now, Ashley, you found out this is happening more frequently.
Sadly, it is, George, especially in popular neighborhoods like here in the Old Fourth Ward. I want to show you what's left of this lot behind me. Just a sad scene here. Her house used to sit here. Now it's just an empty lot. She says her home was targeted by strangers, and she's left trying to figure out what's next.
I bought it in July of 1990.
It was a home on Ralph McGill Boulevard in one of Atlanta's most sought-after neighborhoods, the Old Fourth Ward.
This is a historical area. This is why you would buy over here.
A house Linda Willis says she intended to own until the day she died.
This is a sad day. After 30 years of paying a mortgage, it has become dangerous to be a senior and own gentrified urban property.
But back in November, she says her home was taken away from her in a matter of minutes when arriving to a bulldozer, tearing her home down.
I went to the crane operator and says, who gave you permission to tear down my property?
She says he told her he was hired by a company who recently bought the home from a woman named Cynceria Willis. The problem, Linda says, she never put her home up for sale and had no clue as to who Cynceria Willis was.
How can you steal somebody's property?
I got documents from the Fulton County Probate Court showing Cynceria Willis filed to be administrator over Linda's property last year, appointing her deceased mother, who just so happened to have the same name as Linda Willis.
It's definitely on the uptick.
Real estate attorney Rick Olimbic says they're seeing a significant increase in deed fraud cases like Linda's.
A lot of these fraudulent deeds are done is by people who steal, but we're seeing it. We're seeing more of it.
Olimbic says these thieves typically go after homes that are paid off.
It's easiest when you own a property that is not encumbered by a mortgage.
And appear abandoned.
The fact that it's boarded up and it's abandoned suggests that it's not being paid attention to.
That was the case for Linda, whose home was paid off and boarded up after receiving minor damage from a fire.
The people who want to buy your property, they don't just stop at no.
He says people will also target homeowners who have common names like Linda's. I called Cynceria Willis, who wouldn't comment. Olimbic says there are a number of ways to protect your property. The simplest, set up a doorbell camera.
The fraudsters are going to visit the home. They're going to case it. They're going to see who's there and confirm that it's abandoned.
Also, register your home with the fraud registry with your area municipality.
That alerts owners to recorded deeds.
Or take out a reverse mortgage.
That's another way of getting a bank or a lender involved who's going to have whose interest in the property is going to have to be paid off.
All that we've had to go through to be able to have a right, to be able to own this little statue of dirt. And you're going to steal my property.
Ashley, you can really hear it in that woman's voice, the frustration, the anger, the sadness, really. If anyone at home is watching this, maybe in a similar situation, is there anything they can do now to get their property back?
There are some steps here, George. First, attorneys are telling us to file a police report. Then, like in Linda's case, she did file a police report, but also hire a real estate attorney to try to, in any type of way, get your property back. We did find in this situation, this lot has been sold twice. We do know the last sale of this lot was sold for about $500,000 in this case, George. So definitely a long legal battle ahead for Linda.
Ashley, we couldn't believe when we were talking about this story today in our afternoon editorial meeting, now seeing it firsthand. Just incredible. Ashley Lincoln live for us on an important story. Thank you.
Y'all, did you see that? That really happens. You gonna steal my property? What y'all think about that? Let me know right now, before I share my thoughts, let me know right now in the comments below what you guys think about that. Here are my thoughts. Here are my quick thoughts. First, let's talk about the area. Let's talk about the area just to kind of set the scene. So the Old Fourth Ward is a very historic neighborhood in downtown Atlanta. Old Fourth Ward. That's where Dr. King's house is. If you've ever been to Atlanta and went to like the Martin Luther King Memorial, like his home is in like Old Fourth Ward. It's downtown Atlanta. It's minutes away from all downtown attractions. Okay, so it's a very in-demand area as far as developers wanting to build, and just property values are just through the roof because there's so much development around downtown Atlanta. That's number one. Number two, let's talk about the condition of the property. Okay, you heard they kind of hurried through this part, but the condition of the property was, number one, she said that she owned it since 1990. It was paid off. There was no mortgage on the property. There was fire damage to the property. Okay, so there was no mortgage and it was a distressed property. And clearly she was not living in the property, right? She had already moved out at some point prior to all this happening, because if she lived in the property, this probably would have never happened. Okay, so she was not living in the property. There was fire damage. I say that to say that's important because like the news anchor said and the attorney said, if there was a mortgage on the property or if she was living there, she would not be a target. And I don't want to say that whoever did this, the lady Sinceria that, did the deed or whatever, that maybe they were trying to target her or that this was fraud. And let me premise all this by saying that at no point is real estate fraud okay. Let me premise this video by saying that. And I don't think that the lady, Sinceria Willis, who bought the home or who deeded it to herself or did probate, was trying to defraud the lady. You heard when they said that her mom had the same name as this Linda Willis. Her mom's name was Linda Willis as well. And this is not uncommon. I've actually seen this personally to where, family relationships, they might have been estranged. She knew her mom had property in the city of Atlanta, but she didn't know where. She ran a title search and came across this property and she thought it was her late mom's property. It's not uncommon. This has happened to me before. Okay, so it's not an uncommon thing. People do quiet title transactions all the time. However, I want to talk about how you can avoid being Linda Willis, being a victim. Okay, this is why I always tell homeowners, like, you got to know when to sell. Okay, like I said, at no point is real estate fraud okay. If she wants to hang on to the property until she die, great. But I see this a lot, man. Atlanta is not a new city. I understand there's so many developments and so much gentrification and stuff going on. Atlanta is not a new city. These properties been abandoned. And unfortunately, they did not say how long the property had been abandoned, vacant, in distressed condition. That's very important to know. But if I was the lady, I would have sold the property. She should have exited the property. Why? Because she's a senior. If you would have saw a snippet of the property before they tore it down, it had fire damage. You have to ask yourself, is this lady in her condition able to renovate this property? Probably not. Probably not. This lady, I don't know how old she is. Let's just say she's 70 years old, 70, 80 years old. Is she going to be able to manage a crew to renovate this property? No. Now, if somebody bought the lot for $500,000, that she could have sold it and walked away and lived her best life, enjoy her retirement. But she wants to hang on to the property and this is my property. I can tell you right now, if somebody bought the lot for $500,000, the chances of you getting that property back is slim to none. It's slim to none because when they buy the property, they more than likely have title insurance. You don't. You can go after Sinceria Willis and all this and say she defrauded you when she stole your property. It's already traded twice after. So that developer who bought it is not going to give up their equitable rights. They probably already spent money in pre-construction costs, plans, surveys, site plans, anything. The chances of you getting that property back is not likely. Or if you do, it's going to cost you probably hundreds of thousands of dollars because you're going to be competing against developers that are if they're going to spend $500,000 on a lot, they're going to stop at nothing to bankrupt you, essentially. So I don't want to make this video very long. I just want to shed the light of something that, people do this often. People, they want to, I'm going to keep this property forever. Why? The utility of the home is gone, right? You're not living in the property. It's not your primary residence. It's in a distressed condition. And you don't have the ability, the resources to renovate it. Sell it and move on. Sell it and move on. This is, people do this all the time, and it baffles me. So now, instead of enjoying your retirement with $500,000 in your pocket, you're gonna now spend the next 5 to 10 years fighting a legal battle with people who have way more resources than you, probably have in-staff counsel that can bankrupt you. And it's like, you should have sold the property. You should have sold. So that's just my thought, guys. Like I said before, at no point is real estate fraud okay. I don't think that if Sinceria knew the consequences, or if she knew that that was not her mom's property, that she would have intentionally done this. So I just want to make that very clear. But at the same time, we have to take some level of accountability and know when to sell, right? You buy low, you sell high. If everybody knows the market's at an all-time high right now, when do you sell? If you don't want to sell now, when do you want to sell? So that's just my 2 cents. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. This was a very interesting topic. At least I think so. So until next time, my friends, I'm going to see you guys on the next video. Peace.